Hello YouTube, B3 here, back with another kicking action figure review. Today's review is over the DC Comics designer series Greg Capullo Talon from DC Collectibles DC Direct. Yeah, really cool figure. The second in the designer series. The first was Batman, who I also have, and in this wave, you could say, there's also a Riddler and a Nightwing. The Nightwing and Riddler were all sold out when I went to get these guys from my local comic shop. There were 2 Batman and 1 Talon left. Thank goodness, because Talon was the one I really wanted. I love the Talon. I love the Court of the Owls. They are my favorite original villains of the New 52. Some of my favorite Batman villains of all time at this point. Scott Snyder is a fantastic writer. Greg Capullo is a fantastic artist. Really great. I've cosplayed as one of the court members. Really awesome. But this figure is really cool. And it's about as good as the Batman. Detail and paint is all good. Articulation is exactly the same. Well, except for the head. As you can tell, the head on this guy does not move. Which isn't a problem, because it is the Talon. And articulation would make the head look really bad. But to compensate for that, they boosted his accessories. So he has more accessories than Batman does. Batman had 3 really ultra tiny batarangs. So tiny. I almost lost 2 of them. But this guy has several blades. And his by far coolest accessory, this Court of Owls mask. So you can probably make this balance on other characters. You can hold it in his hand. Really cool. Court of Owls mask. I wouldn't mind a Court of Owls member. I'd buy that. Just go with my Talon. Even if he didn't have this improved articulation. But yeah, very spectacular. Very spectacular figure. First up, let's do accessories. He comes with 2 of these knives, which he holds just fine. They're bent in packaging. I tried to bend them back, but kind of made me a little afraid I was going to break them. But yeah, he comes with 2 of these, and he has 1 sheath. That's under his arm here. Ta-da! Sheath for 1. Kind of got to bend it to get it in there. But he has 2 of these knives, so woohoo! 2 of those knives, the mask, and what other accessories could he have? Oh, these. Yeah, he's got 2 little swords here. Just go right in the sheath in his back. Oh, weren't expecting that, were ya? Oh, some of you might have been. It also turns out that the throwing knives on the Talon are removable. You can take them out and he can hold them, which is... holy crap, that's an incredible feature. Most toy manufacturers wouldn't have gone to that length, but DC Collectibles did it. They did it. They threw it in there. Holy crap. But yeah, really cool figure. Let's talk about articulation first on this guy, since I talked about detail first on the Batman for his review. As I said, no head articulation or movement of any kind. Couldn't fit any in there. The detail is just, there's too much detail there to be able to do it and make it look good. But you got a good up and down in the arm, a good forward and back, a bicep swivel. This one has a bunch of goop in it for some reason. It's really greasy. Oh, I just wiped most of it away, huh? Elbow bend. And you got this forward and back on the wrist. Swivel on the wrist. Well, I meant to do the wrist, so there we go. And also on his gauntlet part there. Ab crunch. Detail all the way up the ab crunch, by the way, which is awesome. You got a waist swivel. Forward and back on the leg. Kind of moves both legs a little bit. Forward and back on the leg. In and out, which doesn't go very far. It goes farther on like the Crime Syndicate and other comic figures. Of course, this guy has these here, so it doesn't bother me as much. And I feel like he might go out a little more than the Batman, because the Batman doesn't seem to go out as far as the Talons do. Huh. The Talon might go out a little farther than Batman does. That might just be a trick of detail, but and then you got a thigh swivel, double knee bend, and rotation there. There he goes. rotation there, and up and down. So yeah, that's it for articulation. Same as Batman, except no head. Pretty much. And once again, more accessories to compensate for that. But yeah, the detail on this guy is immaculate. He is wonderful. Very wonderful. You've got his goggles here, making him look very sharp, if I do say so myself. Very nice head sculpt. Love in the detail. Greg Capullo did a great job. Got his Court of the Owls insignia there. He is their assassin, the Talon, after all. Very, very nice. Dang, but yeah, all based on Greg Capullo's art. Dang it, I keep messing up on his name. Lots of throwing knives here. Very, very cool. And then you got lots of detail on the arms and chest and stuff. You got little darts here. I love his knuckles there. Very, very nice. Lots of detail on the hands too. So well detailed. And then his owl here. I love how they managed to make this owl also look like a skull. Very scary. All his pockets and stuff on the belt. Detail on the legs. Kneecaps. He and Batman with their animal head kneecaps. I talked about what I think of that in the size comparisons of the Batman review, so be sure to watch that. I'm not going to repeat it here. Feet. Just looks really nice. I love his sheath there. Be careful with it because it feels like it might, you know, pop off or something. But yeah, he's a really well detailed figure. He looks really, really good. So yeah, now let's get into some size comparisons. Now here's the Talon with several other DC Direct DC Collectibles figures. Here on the left we have the Designer Series Batman, also based off Greg Capullo's art. Very, very cool. They scale great together. Batman's knees are a little bent. The Talons aren't, so if that's why the Talon looks a little taller, then so be it. But Deathstorm over here is another DC Direct DC collectible from the Crime Syndicate. Very, very cool. I still need Owlman. Can't wait to get Owlman. But this is what I was talking about with leg articulation, because this guy can go very far in and out. He can do the splits, like for real, and kind of go out like that too. And these other guys can't do that. These Designer Series can't do that. Also, another articulation thing I discovered, which I meant to say in the articulation segment. Batman's feet were really loose. Didn't point it out in my review, thought it was just my figure. The feet joints on Talon are really loose too. Yeah, so they're kind of falling forward sometimes. That's why Batman's knees are bent the way they are, and why currently one of Talon's legs is forward further than his other leg, because the feet joints on mine are really loose. Not the forward and back as much as the side to side, but it's really weird. But yeah, he's going to scale up great with the other DC Direct DC collectible figures. Now here's our Talon with some Mattel figures. First up here on the left is the DC Unlimited New 52 Wonder Woman from Mattel. Yeah, too small, way too small. Wonder Woman should be as big or bigger than the Talon because she's an Amazon. And also here on the right, well not the left, the right, come on man. On the right we have the DC Signature Collection Black Mask, who's C-list Batman villain, but I really like him. He's one of my favorites. He's getting a little more popular too, so I guess that's good for me. But yeah, too big for Black Mask as well. He's just not going to scale up well with your other Mattel figures. Speaking of Mattel not scaling up well, here's some Movie Masters of the Talon. Here on the left we have the Movie Masters Alfred from The Dark Knight Rises, who is the same size as a lot of Movie Masters figures, because a lot of them utilize this suit body mold, like Scarecrow, you know, Two-Face, Alfred, Ra's al Ghul, Joker thugs. Yeah, a lot of them have this mold, which is just with different heads and paint. But yeah, that doesn't scale up well with the Talon at all. Just way too small. And the Green Lantern Movie Masters are way too small too, because here on the right we have Sinestro, and it's just not scaling. It's not scaling. So, yeah, he's not going to scale up well with Mattel figures. Maybe like a random Mattel, like say the Batman Legacy Arkham City Nightwing, which seems to scale up just fine with DC Directs, but is too big for your DC Universe Classics. You know, you can use him with the Talon. I personally have that Nightwing. Big thanks to fellow YouTuber for that, by the way. Anyways, yeah, Godzilla Fan 5. But these Movie Masters aren't scaling up well. That's the point. So he's really, your Talon's really only gonna scale up well with DC Universe, you know, direct figures like the Designer Series, or the Blackest Night line, or the New 52 Justice League, Arkham Origins, that kind of stuff. You know, DC Direct and DC Collectibles only, those DC Universe lines. But the DC Universe Classics and stuff, and really anything from Mattel, he's not going to scale up well with. So, yeah, it's quite a shame. So all in all, what do I think of the DC Direct, DC Collectibles, Designer Series Talon from Greg Capullo? Well, it does a great job of bringing the Talon from his artwork. It looks just like his Talon. Very cool. Very great figure. Scales up well. Has good articulation. Great accessories. More accessories than the Batman. Probably to help compensate for the lack of head articulation. Which, you know, you couldn't really give him without making, you know, the detail awful and stuff. But a ton of accessories, including the throwing knives on his chest, which is incredible. That is incredible attention to detail. Speaking of attention to detail, the whole figure just looks beautiful. Got places to put all his weapons except for one knife. You can only put one knife in his sheath at a time. But he is an incredibly awesome figure. He really is. All in all, I think I'm going to give the Talon 5 out of 5 stars. He's really cool. I wouldn't mind the good Talon either, even though I didn't finish his series. I dropped it. But still, this is a cool figure. Really cool. 5 out of 5 stars. I really, really love it. If you're going to get one figure from the first wave of the Designer Series, it should be the Talon. But yeah, that's it, you guys. As always, please rate, comment, and subscribe. Check out all the cool links in the description below. Links to Facebook, Twitter. We'll follow you back on Twitter. Also, you got Super Friends Benefit, which is our gaming channel, The Slender Happening, which is our horror drama suspense channel, and B3 Productions, which is our main channel. It has lots of toy stuff, comic stuff, parodies, all kinds of stuff on B3 Productions, so make sure you check that out. You can see the last review in the link in the description below also. And lots of other stuff. You can go to the FIGPLA group, check out other YouTube channels like JimmyDay93, Horticon, Mr. JF Prime. Lots of cool stuff down there. I watch their stuff too. So, that's it, you guys. As I said, rate, comment, subscribe. 5 out of 5 stars, and I'll see you all later.